Hi, this is Anna Gonçalves, and today I wanted to share about my own health journey. So it's going to be a different video than normally, which you have seen that I have been making videos about my travel and making videos about the things that I'm passionate about, nature, and also personal development and how I help people, inspiring videos to help you think in a different way and maybe reconnect to yourself even more deeply. And before actually recording this video right now, I have been avoiding to record it because I know how vulnerable it is talking about my own journey, and my intuition told me that I needed to record this video, and it's taken me about half an hour to actually do it because my mind was thinking that I needed to have a better audio. So I went looking for that for a microphone and I couldn't find it. Then I really wanted to wash my hair and I did that. And then it was saying that, well, my mind was kind of telling me that I needed to change clothes, but actually I didn't feel to. And so that was what was going on. And it's good that I'm sharing this because this is the reality. And it also pinpoints my journey with my health, because it's like these things that we have in our head, these excuses that we have when we're about to do something, when we are faced with a challenge, if we have something going on in our health, they may put us off from finding the root cause of what's actually going on. So for me, I've had ongoing health issues in the last 3 years, and I've been looking at it from a different perspective. I've been looking for the physical root of what's causing these numerous issues. And recently, when I asked for help on this specific issue, my health, I wanted to actually find the root cause. So I have been having help from a nutritionist. I have been having help from a holistic dentist. I have been having help from different people who have been helping me with my body. Like I've been getting a lymphatic drainage massage that's been helping hugely, and I've also been getting tests done to show where I am in my body, and I have done everything holistically. I did do it the traditional medical way, and the test came back normal, and I felt inside that something wasn't right. However, in saying that, even though I felt something wasn't right, and that's what was going on, that is also in itself a way to bring you back into what's not working. So, me thinking in my head and me feeling that something wasn't right, I was actually creating more than what was actually going on. And, that happened in different ways, where I would bump my knee or bump my leg into something, and then it would take really a long time to recover, and I was emphasizing with the pain. And one of the things that really helped me was to actually stay present and patient with myself, because the last time that I had a physical challenge was 5 weeks ago, and I have been struggling with that. I have been struggling with remaining patient. And so during those times when I would hurt myself physically, bump up against something or have an accident, trip over and hit something, and I would be not functioning physically, I did remain patient with myself. So that's something that actually helped me. However, it was going on for a while, and I would get sick, and it would get sick for like a long time. I think the last time I was sick for 3 weeks, and it just prolonged. And again, I was patient with myself because I felt like I needed to be at that time. And I felt like this experience needed to happen so that I could fully let go of everything. And I think I created that to help me in that way. However, because it's been going on so long now, and the last experience 5 weeks ago, I had a small dental procedure on my gum. So basically, about 7 years ago, my wisdom teeth got taken out at the hospital, and one of them, they had forgotten, I don't know whether they've forgotten, but someone didn't clean the hole left behind after the wisdom teeth was extracted. And so what happened is that there was an inflammation in my body and inflammation in my mouth, and it was just inflammation everywhere, and I would easily get stressed. So that was building up, and in the last 3 years somehow that became even more pertinent because it was impacting like this area and also going into my lymphatic system. 5 weeks ago I discovered that the gum surgeon who actually cleaned it and then stitched up my gum, she told me that it would, if left untouched, if left like it was and I didn't clean it, it would cause impact into my lymphatic system, and it would become congested and then eventually lead to my breasts, which what was happening. So anyway, I did that, and then after, I didn't feel so good at all. I felt terrible because I couldn't move this part of the mouth, and I just couldn't move this part of the mouth either, so I couldn't really talk. I was like this. I'm smiling a lot now because that's how I am, but I just had to stay like this all the time for like 2 weeks, and I just couldn't really speak or talk. So, but that, it dragged on for 5 weeks. So, 2 weeks, it was intense. I know that I'm sensitive, very sensitive, and so things have dragged on a lot more than they have. And I know my body is wise, and it can heal from anything, and it can heal that quickly as well. And which throughout my life, I've never really been, majorly sick at all or broken anything, because I've always been healthy, and I've always believed in the power of healing oneself from the inside out. And whatever issues I had physically, which I didn't really have any, but I knew that if I felt unwell, I could heal myself, and that's what I did. And so with that understanding, I was still experiencing pain, and I was still experiencing different challenges in the last 3 years. And I know internally that I needed to go through that to experience the instability and the pain and everything else coming along with that. However, in saying that, it was not necessary, because I had had enough feeling of the pain in the past to realize that this healing that I needed at that time, I went through. And so now I just needed to relax and let the body do its own thing for myself, to help me to realize that, healing can be quick, and it doesn't have to drag on, which what was happening for like 5 weeks. And I just stopped at a slump. I just stopped dancing and singing, and if I did a task, like a simple task of taking my daughter to school, I would need to have a nap. If I, cooked, I was so exhausted and tired. It just kind of, because I was in that mode, I was resting from my gum and my mouth, I got stuck in that. And so that's why it dragged out. And I just couldn't move out of it. And I knew internally that I could heal myself, but I wasn't doing it. I was so stuck in, war. If when you're stuck, you're just stuck there and you just can't get out of it. You can't see the light. And so because of that, everything was kind of caving in, and I was getting a lot of thoughts. I was getting a lot of thoughts of, the opposite of light, basically, because everything was caving in, and I feel like I was turning into something or someone that I didn't really fully know or accept, because, it was a lot. And I had been having a lot of help in between with different people. I see a therapist, and I have support with energy healers. I have support physically, like I shared. I see someone for my lymphatic system. So I see different people. But what I really needed was to get to the core of it. And that's not what I was doing. That's not what I was addressing. And I like to do that all the time, except this time I was just so stuck in that. When you're stuck and you cannot see your way out. There's fear, there's anxiety, there's panic, there's everything, and you just can't see. And I needed help. I needed specific help, someone to help me go to the root of it, because I wasn't doing that. And so that's what I did. I got the support last week, and oh my God, it was just so intense. I mean, it's exactly what I needed, but I needed to experience the depth of it, because being exhausted is one thing, but I was actually in physical pain at the same time after doing a task. So I was experiencing the most, difficult that a body can get. But when we went to the root of it, and I could feel the suffering, the pain, etc., and I discovered, what it was and where it was coming from, because there were certain elements of where it was coming from, but not a root cause. And when you don't know the root cause, sometimes you don't actually need to know the root cause. I mean, the why. Sometimes you can just go to it and feel it, the depth of it, and it can dissolve. But other times, you actually need to go to it. So I needed to do this thing, which I've been trying so hard to do, for a while, for many years. I've been trying so hard, but I just couldn't do it. So I needed to have all of this experience, all of these physical challenges, all of these health-related issues to get me to this point, because it was the only way that I was able to fully listen, to fully do this thing. And when I did this thing, boom, everything just opened up. Like this exhaustion over me, this kind of going into a hole, this stuck energy, the pain, everything, it just broke open, because I needed to go to the core to do this thing. And then everything changed. I felt reconnected. I felt my joy. I felt happy. I felt like dancing. I felt like singing. It just came home. I came home to myself. And it wasn't anything else. It was that. Exactly that. I needed to go down to the source. I needed to go to the pain, to the suffering, to really feel it in me, and then to see at this moment where it was coming from, to do this thing that was required of me. But this time, the thing that was required of me, I could do it naturally. It wasn't, resistance. There was not fear. But I needed to get into that before doing that thing. And that's the thing that I want to share with you today. What I'm talking about here. There's so much that we go through as human beings. But we are not just human beings. You're not just a human being. you have a lot of potential, you have a lot of energy that is constantly asking you to be more than you are. And when you cannot see that, you will stop yourself from going there. You will, put obstacles in your path to actually help you get out of it. But sometimes we cannot do it ourselves. I think for most of the times we can't really do it ourselves, like all the time. We need to get that extra help that will help guide us, get to the core, to help us overcome, to help us go through it, to help us open up, to help us get to that next idea, to that next project, to that next career path, to help us be more ourselves. So there's different aspects of support. But one of the ways that it really enables you to move through that stuckness is seeing yourself as more than you are. So I think it's important that we become less dependent on where we are. This is not making any sense for now. What I'm saying is that you need to stop attaching yourself to things as, the eternal answer or the be it all at that moment. Like for me, I was attaching myself, my self-worth, everything to my health, and it being the main drive, and that was kind of putting blinders on. So I wasn't actually getting to the core root and actually realizing that, I don't have to go through all this pain. I've been through the pain. I felt what I needed to feel and I healed from it. And this is not necessary because this is not me. And my body is actually more wiser and capable and powerful than I realized, because it was my body that helped me through it. It wasn't here. This is not where it happened. I had to go into my body to feel all of me, to reconnect to my energy, and to really go to the source. So for today, and whenever you watch this video, I highly encourage you to get honest with yourself, to open up the blinders. And if you can't open up your blinders, like me, ask for help. If you feel a calling to see someone, go see them, go talk to them. If you don't have any idea who they are, approach them. But if you have that feeling, then do it, because it may be your savior. It may really open up and help you get unstuck from where you are. But this is you that's doing it. When you ask for help and when you really need the support, even when you feel like you don't want it, but it's the only thing that's going to help you out. It's the only thing that's going to help you heal or move through it. You're actually initiating the change. You're initiating the actual action already. It's you that's doing it. It's your energy. It's your field. And it's all of you that wants you to move through this. And when we feel like we can't do it, we're stuck, etc., it's like all of the little voices, the negative voices, it's the dark, everything that wants us to move out of life. It wants us to stay small. But all these aspects are actually trying to help you. They're not trying to crush you. But yes, they do crush you. They have crushed me. They crush you. They crush everyone. Get help for that, because it can actually be your freedom. It can actually liberate you. These experiences that you're having, these challenges, and it will. You probably have had these experiences before where it has liberated you. and you have felt that freedom, you felt so connected to yourself, you've gone out and you've done what you really enjoy and you love without hesitation and fear. But know that fear is natural. It will come up when you're out of your comfort zone, because these voices, the feelings of being stuck, they will always come up. And your job is to move. Your job is to take action. Your job is to pay attention, to listen to what's going on inside and get the help. If you know that it's been too long where you're stuck, it's a cue for moving. Because in actual truth, your energy, the greater you that's here for the living, it wants you to move. It wants you to get out of the stuckness. It wants more of life. So ask yourself, are you ready? Am I ready? Am I ready to move now, despite etc.? You don't have to list them. What I'm saying is, despite all the reasons, this is happening, that is happening, this is where I am, blah, 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 etc. Can you do it for yourself? Can you give it to yourself to move, to do what you're called to, to feel everything that you are right now? Give it to yourself. And if this helps, leave a comment. Just let me know what you are being called to move. Where are you being called to move? And feel free to share below what that is, what that looks like, what excites you. That's the joy that you find in yourself when you move. Anything is possible. This is where miracles are. It's really where miracles are. So give it to yourself. And if you need any support, send me an email. I'm going to share my email address below. Send me an email and I'm more than happy to help, to see how we can work together. I would really love to support you wherever you are. And I'm so happy to be sharing my journey, because even that felt like, do you see, like the reasons, the excuses, and here I am showing up for myself. And I hope that you show up for yourself today. Have a great day wherever you are.